Hey everyone! Welcome to another Q&J. As always, my name is Jay, and it's time to J some Q's. Yes. Now, I should probably start off this Q&J by addressing, there was a comment last week made by Skeleton Flower, basically stating that because I didn't want to talk about certain topics, that it was kind of an admission of guilt, or, that because I didn't want to discuss them, obviously my opinions would not be popular. And unfortunately that isn't the case. The reason why I don't want to talk about these things, and some other people basically restated what I'm going to say as well in the comments, is that because there are several topics that are, hot topics and always topics of debate, and I just prefer to keep my Q&Js about the hobby, a little about my life, Mandy, fun things like that. The problem is with these topics is that regardless of my views, pro or con against any specific view, is that there will be viewers who disagree with me. And some of them believe so strongly that they'll disagree with me that they will unsubscribe and stop watching my stuff over that kind of stuff. And I just prefer not to, as I said, alienate my audience. I don't want to separate my audience and draw so many lines in the sand about these topics. And if you notice, Matt at Miniwargaming in his sit and talks addresses these topics, and they really don't go anywhere. It seems like every week the same topics get brought up, and it just causes the same debate. So it doesn't really go anywhere. So that's why I just really wanted to address it. So as I said, regardless of my viewpoints, people are going to disagree with me. And yeah, that's just it. By not talking about it, I am not declaring my beliefs or my values or anything like that. I just don't want to talk about those specific topics. I'd rather keep it about the hobby and miniature wargaming and stuff like that. So that's it, as I said. So now that that's out of the way, yeah, let's just keep going. Because as I said, I didn't want to offend anyone by not talking about it. I didn't really think about how not talking about it would offend someone. I just didn't want to talk about these topics. I'd rather just focus on the stuff. So let's start off with the apathetic fish. Now, as I said, the first comment was technically Skeleton Flower, but I've already addressed that comment. And yeah, I'm sorry, Skeleton Flower, for possibly offending you by not talking about it, but as I said, I want to keep it about the game. The apathetic fish says, Jay, I want a friend of mine to start playing 40k, and he likes orcs. That's good. Can you give me a cool idea of what could I give him to start playing at 500 points? Oh man, see, the perfect thing I would have recommended if you could have gotten it would have been the Stormclaw. If you play Space Wolves, and Stormclaw would have been amazing, because it's pretty close to 500 points. Yeah, it's you get a squad of knobs, which you can kit out to be pretty expensive, and they're cool. You get a war boss, the Killicans, and Gretchen. Of course, you need boys. Boys are really a good foundation. I'd say boys. Can you give me a cool idea? I was thinking of truck boys. Yeah, great idea. Truck boys is a great way to start an army. Boys are the foundation of an orc army. So maybe truck boys, and that'd be a great way to start an army. Yeah. I don't know if it comes with 20 boys or 10 boys. But either way, it's a great way to start an army. It gets the person included. Plus, trucks are a really cool model. I always like them. I don't play with them a lot, but they have so much detail for such a cheap model for points cost. So, very good idea. Other thing would have been great if you had the access to the old, what was it called? Assault on Black Reach. That would have been amazing. Yeah. What do you think would be a good start in Orc player? I wish I could. Oh, yeah, you just mentioned. I wish I could get a hold of the Assault on Black Reach set, but difficult to find. Yeah, and unfortunately, the Stormclaw, it seems like it sold out pretty quickly too. I would have recommended the Stormclaw because it comes with a little bit of everything, and then you just sell off the. Or if you play Space Wolves, you get the Space Wolves, and you keep the miniature army book for yourself. That's awesome. It's a great value. The models for the orcs alone are worth about the same as the Stormclaw box set, which was what made it so good. Boys. Yeah, just boys. Because boys have so much character to themselves, and that would get an orc player into playing orcs. Orcs are just fun. What other things? Maybe some knobs. Yeah. Knobs are good too. Knobs, boys, a truck. Can't go wrong with that, especially the truck boys set. And the rest of the things, just go around the foundation. Foundation or boys. Oh man, it would have been so great. Just on a side note, the Assault on Black Reach, in my opinion, that was the best starter set ever because orcs, the models were amazing. I loved the sculpts. The War Boss was a great sculpt. The boys looked great. And it came with Space Marines, so it was two very popular armies, and you could use both sides very well. I knew the orc players. Like I was an orc player, and I'm still an orc player, obviously. And I used all the boys that I got in the set. My friends who were Space Marine players could easily use all the models from that set, and it was just great value. The only problem I find with the new one, Dark Vengeance, and obviously they've brought it back, is the Chaos side. The Dark Angel side's amazing. If you are a Dark Angels player, get the half from Dark Vengeance. It's amazing. But if you're a Chaos player, there's really not that much for you. You get the Hellbrute, but it's a one-way built Hellbrute, and most people like the alternative builds. You get the Cultists, so if you really like running Cultists, you get a bunch of Cultists, that's good. And Chosen, which people don't typically run within a list. So I find it's very imbalanced. The Orcs and Space Marines, you get a lot in Assault on Black Reach. But in the new set, Dark Angels get a lot, Chaos, not so much. Jim White says, Jay, do you often win at 40k against your wife? It's about 50-50, actually. I tend to give her the stronger army, or the army that's easier to use, because she's new. She's new to 40k, she's new to the rules, and she really likes Terminators. That's her thing. She really likes Terminators. So we've played 4 games so far, and I think I've won 2 of them and lost 2. And she played Grey Knights, and in the one battle report that was lost, she popped my Morkanaut turn 1 with a Vindicare Assassin. And she just loved that Vindicare Assassin, because it took me 2 or 3 turns to kill him. No, I think they killed him turn 1 or 2, yeah. So he did pop a couple things, and she just loved that. She rolled 4 dice and got 17 plus 3, so it was her 20 on the penning table, like to pen the armor, and she rolls well. It's really hard to fight her when she rolls well. Number 2, which 40k army would you like to expand to apocalypse size in the future? Orcs. To me, I love, and the thing is, I actually have some apocalypse models or some escalation models. I have a few Baneblades, or a Baneblade or 2, yeah. But I love the orcs. The orcs, I've always loved the Squiggoths, the Grand Squiggoths, the Stompas, and I really love the Grot Tanks. The Grot Tanks are my favorite. Can't beat the Grot Tanks. I would love an entire formation of Grot Tanks. Tyranids are cool too. Number 3, are you also going to avoid answering questions about politics to avoid alienating your viewers? Maybe. I'm not really into politics, to be honest. That's maybe why I wouldn't talk about it. I'm really not into politics. I'm busy. And I just, I don't know. Good question. But I do find people are less offended by politics than certain views, but I don't know. I'm going to think about it. As I said, maybe I'm just playing it safe, but I just want to keep this fun and lighthearted and about the game and having a good time. And I just don't want to, really upset people. Apparently, I might have upset a viewer with my previous non-comments, so it's all good. Archon Timatron, good name, Archon Timatron, says, hey Jay, just to let you know, there is one of the best Dark Eldar players out there in Canada, Scary, of the Scaredcast YouTube channel. Oh cool, I'm going to go check it out. So check out people, Scary, Scaredcast YouTube channel. It's spelled S-K-A-R-E-D, cast YouTube channel. Not sure if you've heard of him. I haven't actually, but he has serious generalship skills. That's great. And really, I think you do need to be a good general to be Dark Eldar. Because Dark Eldar are a real big glass hammer, and you have to run them effectively. You should definitely check him out. I will definitely check him out. And it's just great bat reps, and he's a really nice guy to boot. Cool. I know he travels around Canada a fair bit for his work, so there's a chance that he could play you sometime. That would be awesome. He's done crossover bat reps with Eldar Corsair in the past. I think Eldar Corsair is in the area. I'm pretty sure he's in the GTA. So that may, yeah. All the best. Awesome sauce. Thank you very much, Archon Timatron. Cool comment. I'm going to check that out. The Spawn 117. Hey, Jay. What do you think of the Warhammer 40k anime TV series? I didn't know there was one. Looks like I got some viewing to do this week. Ask me again in a week. I'm going to check it out. Number 2, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Warhammer 40k Eternal Crusade MMO? I don't know. I have my hopes. I really do have high hopes for it. I just know a lot of people have been disappointed with stuff. Are there more questions? Oh, there is. Cool. I'm going to answer more questions in a second. But I hope it's good. I really do. I like the 40k games. I know they're not the greatest quality according to people like Owen. But I like them. They're fun. And I think it'd be hilarious to run around as an orc and kill things. Or Tyranid. Yeah. So I have high hopes. There's a lot of pressure, unfortunately. When you try to create a game series on such a popular game, it's very hard. You know, just like if you try to create a movie off a book, it can be very difficult. So, I'll see, and I'll check it out when it comes out. I'm gonna check it out and maybe play it, and maybe it'll be fun. Number 3, do you know anything of when the new Blood Angels and Grey Knights Codex come out? Yes. Well, rumors right now. It's rumors. I don't know for sure. I don't have an insider at Games Workshop or anything. But it looks like Space Wolves are probably next. It really does look like that. Stormclaw just came out. Of course, Stormclaw was a limited release. And Space Wolves or Blood Angels are going to be out soon. Probably August, late August, or early September. Mid-September. One of them will be released. The other one is probably going to be around Christmas time. So I personally see Blood Angels being a late this year release. If they don't get a release in late August or September. One of them. And then Dark Eldar will be in there somewhere as well. Grey Knights I don't see happening till next year. I could be wrong, but I don't see them happening until probably February or March of next year. That would be my guesses. But again, people leave comments in the comment section down below. If I'm missing some rumors, definitely let me know. I just feel Grey Knights, like Blood Angels and Space Wolves, should be next. Space Wolves is a very early 5th edition codex, so it should probably be next. And then it went, after Space Wolves, it went Tyranids and then Blood Angels. So, we'll see. Number 4, do you have an Imperial Fist army? If not, then are you planning on making one? I have one that's being made right now. I'm building it a little bit at a time. I've been so busy painting for my tutorials and videos for the Warp and making all the miniature painting 101s. I've been just slowly assembling my models. I do have about 1,000 points so far. I have about 1,000 points of Imperial Fists. I have Lysander. I have a good amount. I have basically an entire Megaforce of Space Marines that I'm going to put towards Imperial Fists. Next question, number 5. Have you read any books from the Black Library? No. I have one from Adepticon, but I don't not read them. To be honest, I'm not a big reader. Yeah, I'm not a big reader. I'm busy painting and making reports and chilling with my wife. Reading, unfortunately, is not too high on my list. Unfortunately, I should read some. But I've heard a lot of good things about them. And next, number 6. Have you ever watched any videos from the YouTube channel called The Vaults of Terra? I haven't. See, that's another YouTube channel I should check out. Vaults of Terra and Scaredcast. I'm checking them both out this week. Thank you very much for letting me know. I do love checking out other videos by the creators. I like to see what other people are doing. It gives me some ideas. I like to get to know the community. And I have heard of Vaults of Terra. I have heard of them twice. It's been recommended videos for me, like in my recommended section of my YouTube channel. But I just haven't had the time to check them out. So I'll definitely check them out. So check out People Vaults of Terra. Donus Lil. New gaming board! I know! Citadel. There's a new Citadel Realm of Battle table, and it's city themed. Wow. I know it will cost, but are you looking to get it for some more randomization battle reports. I am. Not right now. Probably in the next couple months because it's expensive. It's like the one I bought was $350 and the next one's like $400 Canadian, and it's just a lot. What do I think about it? It's a little busy. The way that they paint it on the website is a little busy. Like, it's just so much detail, so many colors. It's hard to keep your focus on a certain part. It's a very busy table, but I love it. Once I saw it, I thought, oh, there goes $400 of my money. So now you guys know what I'll be putting my money from YouTube towards. Because, yeah, it would be awesome. Plus, I need to get some more terrain. But it looks great. It's a cool board. I love the modular theme. Now, there aren't as many variation pieces, I'm pretty sure. I think there's only 3 different pieces, and you get 2 of each. But still, it's a city. So, cool stuff. The new Citadel Realm battle table is pretty cool. Next is Archon Timatron. Hello again, Archon Timatron. Oh, also, on a final question on your video, where you referred to a 2,000 points and double force org. This is not the case in 7th Ed, as you can take as many combined arms detachments as you have the points for, provided you fulfill the requirements. That's true. Sorry, I said that, and sometimes I still have 6th edition on the brain, and it happens. You know, I was so into 6th edition, and the amount of just stuff that I did in 6th edition just kept it in my brain, you know? So yeah, it's correct. You are right. You can now bring as many detachments as you want for the points. So people are creating these hilarious orc lists I've seen that they're bringing orc detachments, and Gretchen. It's hilarious. I saw this one online the other day that it's just war bosses and Gretchen. And it's hilarious. War bosses and Gretchen. So you have a whole army full of war bosses and just a little Gretchen. It's pretty fun. And I think people tried to combine, as I mentioned in my review of the new the supplement for Gospel Thraka, people are going to combine them using Gretchen as well. It's kind of fun. So you could have 3 HQs, 6 troops, and 9 heavy support choices from 3 different CADs, plus then you can take allies on top of that. That's true. You are very correct, Archon Timatron. Very correct. Good point. I was wrong. 100% I was wrong, and yeah. Sneaky Git says, Sisters of Battle had a 2nd edition codex and Necrons had a White Dwarf codex. That's true, as did Blood Angels. Blood Angels in 4th Ed had I'm pretty sure they had 4th Ed or 3rd Ed. Blood Angels at one point had a White Dwarf update too. That's true. Right now Sisters have a White Dwarf update actually. They had a White Dwarf update in 6th edition. And Necrons now have a normal codex. That's true. Very good point. Tactica Imperialis says, Hi Jay, there seem to be a lot of 40k video games under development nowadays. I agree. There's Eternal Crusade, Conquest, Chess, Rennick, even a recently announced Heresy era game. I didn't even know about that. That'd be really cool to do a Heresy era game, especially storyline themed. That'd be very interesting. As well as a couple released examples, Storm of Vengeance. My question is twofold, really. Number one, are you going to play many of them? I am going to. For the Let's Play with Jay. It basically, I would love to keep doing the Let's Play with Jays, and I'm going to stick to Warhammer 40k or miniature wargaming related games, i.e. Warrior Machine Tactics. I'm a little regretting not getting the earlier access, but for me it would have been $65, and I just don't think it's worth it at that moment because I'm already going to get it for free because I support the Kickstarter. So, but still, and War Machine Tactics. I'm going to keep playing miniature wargaming themed video games, definitely, and I had a lot of fun playing Kill Team. I know it wasn't the best game, but I had fun playing it. And I've played Space Marine, and Space Hulk has been a lot of fun so far. So, yeah, I'm going to keep playing. Number 2, do you think it's a good thing that there are so many games using the 40k, 30k setting, potentially making a mess of the franchise with bad titles? To me, it's high risk, high reward. Because I feel that I personally want to see the miniature wargaming community grow. And the miniature wargaming community is not big at all compared to the video game community. The video game community trumps us so bad. Look at who's the biggest in miniature wargaming on YouTube. It's Miniwargamer. Good question. Why did I ask that question? Whatever, Miniwargamer. They have the biggest. They have like 135,000 subscribers. PewDiePie, millions, like 25 million views, and he plays video games. So I feel it's high risk, high reward. Basically, though it's targeted at us, and it's like, hey, it's a video game that you guys want, and we'll love it. I have the feeling that most of us will play these games regardless, or at least try them out. I feel it's a way of maybe trying to get the video game people interested in miniature wargaming. Because if they love a video game, like a lot of us love the game and we read the books. If they love a video game, they might want to try the game. So it's high risk, high reward. Unfortunately, some of these titles would be putting people off. Like if I was a hardcore video gamer and I played Kill Team, I wouldn't be that impressed. But still, I like them. So it's risk. It's a risk. If they turn out well, I think they'll be great. If they turn out poorly, they're just going to sour people. And then they run the risk on top of that of souring us, the miniature wargamers. But I think we're going to play the game regardless. Dr. Octopus, the guy with the greatest name ever, says 19 hours of Heathrow? Yeah, no joke. 19 hours by myself, and it was my first time flying. Things you don't want to do. That sounds like most times I've been there. Oh, at least it's consistent then. On to the question. Have you ever considered doing something such as a homebrew Space Marine chapter or equivalent for another faction? Also, dinosaurs in space, yay or nay? Yay? Dinosaurs plus space, how can you go wrong? Yes, I did think of doing a homebrew chapter. But the thing is, though, I do my own color scheme for NIDS, and I really loved Imperial Fists. So I decided to go with Imperial Fists rather than my own home faction. But I have definitely considered it in the future. And maybe in the future I will. Like the J... I was thinking of making an army called the J Knights. Maybe a Grey Knight faction. That was actually one of my ideas. Don't steal it. Copyright. Trademark. J Knight. Trademark. Don't you take it. So, yeah, I have thought about it in the past, but I don't think it's going to happen to me in the future, probably, or at least in the near future. I have so many models to paint right now. Yeah. Tobias Shrama says, hey Jay, another thing that I really lacks on the web is as follows. A few vids, like 3 times 20 minutes, on each army, specifying their strengths, weaknesses, and tactical strategy. I'm actually going to make those. At least the 5 that I own, I'll be making them. Or the 6 that I own, I'll be making them. And discuss each one. And then I'm going to go further and address the other ones as well. But right now, I had to refilm the next 2, but I have filmed the next 4 total on how to play 40k. The first one, number 2, is going up today, and it's just going to be about tips on how to choose an army. Just a bunch of reasons of what to look for when looking at armies, about how to choose them, because obviously that sets the foundation of your play. The next one is about the force organization chart, and I might retake it because it ended up being pretty long. I might re-edit it to make 1 force organization chart and 1 list building 101. So I took basically a 1,000-point Dark Angel list, and I showed how to construct it using points. So obviously start with the base cost and then add the upgrades, and that way it'll show new people how to build lists. And then the following one is about the types of models. So infantry, jump infantry, jet infantry, bikes, monster creatures, etc., and how these influence their things. And then after that, the next videos are going to be on setting up your table, terrain and stuff maybe, and then starting the game. Missions, and then starting the phases. I want to break down by phases. I want to do a lot of videos for this series because I want to make them shorter and more precise, because that way you can watch one video at a time and really, and not you, the newer people, and they can watch them and learn. And if I make any mistakes, obviously the comments will help as well. So yes. But yeah, great suggestion, Tobias Shrama. I will definitely plan on doing them. I will start with I'm definitely going to start with the armies that have 6th edition codices, because I don't want to make a book. I don't want to make one on a book that we know probably the next one's Space Rules are Blood Angels. So I'm probably going to wait till after that codex comes out to do a video on them. That way I don't just, make a video that's only relevant for a month. Tobias Shrama also says, lastly, because my comment was probably after you recorded it, repost, hey Jay, what should you focus on this week or next would be how to paint a Space Wolf. I am. There's going to be some Space Wolf tutorials in the near future. Give me a week or 2, because I just picked up the Stormclaw set. I got Space Wolves to paint. with the new kit coming out. I really want a relative recent tutorial on that. Latest one is like 6 months old on YouTube, and I like your paint style. Thank you. That's great. I'm going to make one. I'll probably make one for free, one in the Warp, one on Base Troop, one on Terminator, and we'll see. But yeah, for sure. Definitely Space Wolf tutorials in the near future. I am working on them. They're kind of what I'm working on at the moment. So, yep. Very nice and thank you very much for your comment, Tobias Shrama. I didn't think, by the way, last week, I didn't know that the Stormclaw was a limited release. I thought it was a full-blown release. It turns out it was just limited. I guess it's sold out, but it was good. I like it. Airbrush Wargaming. He said, hey Jay, your comment on Recasts made perfect sense. Thank you. I don't want to split hairs with it. That's also one of the topics that's quite interesting, because, yeah, it's an interesting topic. I was wondering what your thoughts on scratch building models, Land Raider, Kill It Can, for example, for use in games. I love it. I am not talented in the scratch building realm. I am a painter. I have tried, but I have failed. And for orcs, that's what I love about orcs, is that, like, I don't know if you saw this, I guess the battle port was in the Warp, but check out the, if you don't want to check out the Warp, no problem. Check out the most recent, what's it called? Campaign at Miniwargaming with Cody Rue. Cody Rue did a phenomenal job scratch building some of his things called the Morkanaut and the Gorkanaut. I love it. And that's the great thing about orcs. I feel orcs are probably the best army for scratch building because you can put anything together in some amalgamated fashion and it looks orky. So I am totally for scratch building models. Completely. I'm just not good at it. I should practice. Mm-hmm. And as far as Land Raiders, yeah, I agree. It cuts down the cost, but it still represents the models. Completely agree. Completely agree. I know some tournaments. I've actually been to tournaments which do not allow them. But I disagree with that. I personally like it because it adds so much creativity. As long as it's modeled in a representative fashion. You know, if it's about the same size as it should be. I know some people have tried to get away with modeling too small and stuff, and that's a debatable topic. It cuts down the cost, so represents the models. I completely agree. It also recently rummaged through my bits box and made a Dark Strider model very close to the original. Awesome! This managed to save me more than 15, I think it's a pound sign? Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a pound. Do you think this is okay? Some people would call it cheating because I didn't actually buy the model but instead converted it. Nope, completely. My opinion on that matter is I am for scratch building. It adds so much creativity, especially with the giant models. You know, sometimes they're just too expensive to be able to buy. I agree. Scott Reddy says, hi Jay, love the videos in the Warp. Thank you very much, Scott Reddy. Do you think they will add a new army to 40k soon? As it's been a while since the last did. To be honest, I don't see one in the near future. Maybe. It's always possible. I wonder what most recent... Yeah, it's been a while. So I think Games Workshop is going to first try to fill the rest... Well, actually, technically, yes. I could see them doing it. It hasn't been that long. Like, the newest army, I'd argue, is Imperial Knights. It is a full codex, technically. Imperial Knights are only 4 months old. So, maybe. You never know. I could definitely see them doing more Imperial Knight type armies where it's giant models and it's based off like 2 of them. So yeah, I could see them doing that. Yeah, now that I think about it. Brandon Campbell says, hey Jay, do you have a Facebook-like page for your channel? Yes. And the following video, which will be up today, is announcing it. Thank you for asking. I just created one recently. Expect an announcement. Expect one. And it's going to be good. I had a quick look for one and I couldn't see it. If you don't, you should probably consider making one so we can see your work in progress and other updates. Either way, party on, dude. Love your work. Thank you very much. And you'll see one soon. Next video I think we'll put up today will be an announcement video. Should be up today. Trex Bacon says, I love your bat reps. Just keep them up and enjoy your solo bat reps. Thank you. Thank you very much, Trex Bacon. Good name. Bacon. Ice4. Who do you like more, Miniwargamer Matt or Miniwargamer Dave? Dave. Yeah. No, I'll elaborate on that. Matt, I get along with both of them quite well, but I tended to have more fun with Dave, because Dave is a bit more wacky, like my personality. We had a lot of fun bouncing things off each other. Matt is more, if this was a comedy act, he'd be the straight guy. You know what I mean? And Dave and I would always have a lot of fun bouncing stuff off each other, and we had a lot of fun whenever we were in videos together. So I had more fun with Dave. But Matt's a good guy too. Marcus Leighton said, "Hello, Jay. I bought a few years ago some old trucks from the Armageddon Steel Legion Time ones. Oh, cool. I know which ones you're talking about. But the new ones look so cool that I'm a little sad that I bought them from the internet. Glad I paid only 4 which I'm guessing is £4 or 4 euro. Oh, 4 euros. Euros. Makes sense. It's probably euros earlier too. Sorry. From one, but do you think it affects the gameplay because the new and old ones are so different, size, look, and price? P.S. I'm from Finland. I like your videos. They're awesome. Thank you so much. Greetings from Canada. I like the fact that the good thing about videos from Finland is they're always finished. Pun intended. And yes, it does affect gameplay, but I don't mind too much. There are certain models that I know are forbidden for most like armies. Like the new Goskal Thraka model from the current edition is like this big. The old one from the second edition, it's like that big. So it's a bit of a difference for line of sight purposes. But if you've seen a lot of the battle reports, like a lot of people these days still field the old Rhinos and the old Vindicators, the old, all the old tanks, because they're much smaller. I don't mind personally. You know what? I'm not a person that really minds the size, as I said. And I talked about that in the previous scratch building comment. As long as they're roughly the size, I don't mind at all. I'm an easygoing gamer. And if you played an entire list of older tanks against me, I'd have no problem. I know it technically does affect the game for line of sight purposes, but it was a created Games Workshop model, and you should not be penalized for having older models, in the sense that they should not be forbidden. I agree. Hey Jay, I have some questions for you. Next Q&J. That's great. Number 1, why is the word abbreviation so long? I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. And also, speaking of it, doesn't it kind of annoy you when abbreviations for words are longer than the words? Like World Wide Web, right? The abbreviation for World Wide Web is WWW. But WWW is 9 syllables and World Wide Web is 3. Makes less sense for an abbreviation. Number 2, what's another word for thesaurus? The other dictionary? Number 3, what do you think when an endangered animal eats endangered plants? Actually, that's a question that I actually have some research with. It's really funny. And it essentially comes down to prioritization. How in the animal versus the plant. Typically, most biologists, unless you're the plant ecologist specifically, most biologists will go with the animal itself. I know it tends to be biased, but in most ecosystems, they focus more on the animals than the plants. It's weird. I know it's the top-down versus bottom-up structure of ecosystems, but X David Williams says, "Huzzah, Jay!" Word. Jonathan Demers says, "I bought a lot from the Chinese at AliExpress.com." Now I'm mentioning it. Now I'm just advertising. But okay, so I'm reading his comment. "The resin is a bit more brittle than forge-rolled resin, and it is true that it's heavier. The greater unclean one is like a brick." Yeah, that's what I've seen too. Yeah, like my friend's Tau flyer was just heavy. Of course, you don't support GW. And then again, you pay about 50% on big kits, and the Primark goes for $20 instead of 55 greater British pounds. Huge difference. For me, the big problem with Chinese is that they don't have any instructions. A lot of fun building a 100-piece vehicle. I agree. So that's as I mentioned, the pros and cons of Not just Chinese. I'm not saying Chinese but many good counterfeiters are from China. It's going with Games Workshop or Forge World versus the Recasts. Is that the pros, you're going to save a lot of money. The cons is that there's risk involved. You may not get the same quality, and they have no instructions. So it's up to you. He also said, if putting the website of Ali a breach in some Games Workshop obscure IP, just remove the message. I don't want to cause any trouble. No problem. If I get trouble, I'm reading a comment. That's what I'm saying. I'm reading a comment, and in no way am I just saying go buy it. I'm getting pros and cons. Yes. Scott Reddy, once again. Hey, Scott Reddy. Says, hi again, Jay. Just got another question. I love the painting videos that help me a lot. I'm just starting back up. Wondered if you will be doing a smaller thing on converting minis, showing how to pin and add magnets. I am, actually. I am doing magnets especially. Pinning, I don't think I'm going to do pinning for a while because I don't see myself putting together any large metallic models in the near future. Almost everything new from Privateer Press and Games Workshop. Well, Games Workshop hasn't used metal in 3 years. And Privateer Press is now strongly getting away from metal. So next time I have a heavy metal model, I will definitely pin it and I'll make a tutorial. As for magnetizing, next week expect a video on magnetizing my Killicans. It will be free, and it will be, I'm doing a series of videos on assembling some of the models from the Stormclaw box set. And one of them will be the Warboss, one of them will be the Space Wolf Captain, and at least one of them will be magnetizing and assembling my Killicans. Because, as you guys have seen in some of my videos, I do have magnetized arms, and you guys want to see them, so I'll do it. Wrecked says, I didn't realize that Canada was located in the warp. It is. Canada's everywhere. But I figured, you know what? At least by sucking in Canada into the warp, you get politeness, you know, maple syrup. Demons love maple syrup, and the warp, things inside the warp might like maple syrup. So Canada's good. Good asset to the warp. And hockey's great everywhere. After brief consideration, I am surprised I did not deduce that this was the case. It is pretty obvious when you think about it. It is. It is. Who can really be that polite? Plus, Dave is one of our ambassadors. Nicholas Kika says, I always have a problem reading Orcish sometimes. This here ain't really a question, but can you do the orc voice since you have the orcs? My orc voice is almost Yoda-ish. I just do, me do the orc's voice. This here ain't really a question. Yeah, me the orc. That's kind of my orc voice. I know a lot of the orcs now have British accents in all the video games, but I'll do it one time. Hi, Jay. This is from Andrew McCormick. Hi, Jay. You seem to be getting quite a following in England and heard your channel being talked about at Warhammer World Nottingham? That's awesome. Thank you so much for telling me that. That makes my day. I love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Finland and England. That's cool. I just got back in 40k after 15 years sabbatical and had my first game the other night. That's awesome. I played Eldar. I drew one and then lost one, but I was happy with what I managed to do with the models I had, especially my Eldar Hornets. Yeah, Hornets are good. Yeah. Anyway, I would like to hear your opinion on some of the Forge World armies. Death Corps of Krieg, Eldar Corsairs, etc. Is Forge World is one legal in... Is Forge World is one legal in normal size games? It would be nice to hear your thoughts and opinions on these, especially Corsairs. Alright, here's my thoughts. Straight up thoughts. Forge World makes, in my opinion, some of the greatest looking models for 40k. Greatest looking. Number two, if you're an Eldar player, they make some of the best models, period. Because the Hornet and the Wasp, I think it's called, like, all their flyers are so amazing. I don't know if you've seen Chris's collection of flyers. They're beautiful. And I am personally, I don't have any problems with people bringing in Forge World models into my game. I've been to tournaments that allow it. I've been to tournaments that don't allow it. Typically, they are good models on the battlefield, because if they weren't, nobody would buy them from Forge World. They're very costly in most countries. So that's my opinion. I like them. I've seen one Death Corps of Krieg army, and it was beautifully painted, and it was just amazing. I didn't get to play against it. I saw it at a tournament, and I would have loved to play it against it just to see what it could do. My personal opinion is I love playing Warhammer 40k. If people bring Forge World models against me, I'm okay with it. Obviously, some of them are powerful, arguably overpowered, but you have to pay for them. Like, they're expensive models. Both points costs in some cases, but mostly financially. So if my friend spent so much money to buy a model and all the time making it look nice, I wouldn't have the heart to make him not let him play it. And the Elder Corsairs, again, beautiful army. The Forge World models, they just look great. You gotta give them credit. They make beautiful models, beautiful looking armies, and the kits that they have to convert are just beautiful. And thank you for your comment. Andrew McCormick once again. Incidentally, to piggyback off my last week's answer about recast models, don't do any videos comparing Recasts to Forge World that show the models, as GW will come down on you like a ton of bricks with C's and desist letters. Good point. I thought about that too. Yeah. You could talk about them, but by showing the models, you're opening yourself up to all the kinds of grief. Yeah, I do very much see your point. I do. So very good comment. Thank you very much for your suggestion. Cipriano Lopez, why don't you play fantasy? And if you did, what army would you play and why? Why don't I play fantasy? My friends played 40k, and I got into 40k. I did play fantasy for Miniwargaming, but it was with the studio army, and it was the Bretonians. Now, if I was to play 40k, by the way, fantasy has some amazing models, and I love the look of them. What army would I play? I like ogres and orcs and goblins. Orcs and gobos are just fun because I'm an orc player, and ogres just look amazing to me. I love their giant beasts; they look great. So those two armies. But nothing against fantasy. It's a good-looking game. The dynamics are interesting. It's a bit different of a play style in 40k, but I don't mind that. It's just basically that I'm really into 40k, and I'm getting really into War Machine and Hordes. I don't want to add a third game too soon, because I'd rather just focus on 2 games and make them really good battle reports than have a third game and then spread myself too thin. Juggalo Wargamer AJ, good name, says, by the way, I love as I said before, my viewers have the best names. I love this new name system. It's just awesome. Since the recent price increase, I have been buying more of the Chinese knockoffs. Oh, see, now it's a debate on Chinese knockoffs again, but it's okay. The plastic is more brittle, and the resin is sometimes more flashed, but overall the price is unbeatable. And, like you said, you get what you pay for. Exactly it. I'm not condoning in any way buying knockoff models, but there's pros and cons. David Batiglia says, Jay, in your last Q&J, someone asked about the mech guns you prefer. That someone meant the new... Oh! Sorry, okay. The artillery pieces, which are now called mech guns instead of big guns. Sorry, I must have just misread the comment. What do I think about the new mech guns? I like the models. Again, the models are great. I love the new larger models. The kit is great. It looks amazing, and there have been some good magnetizing tutorials so you can put them together. As for the rules, Zap Gun is going to be great. I still like Zap Guns. I still like the kill cannons. The Bubble Chukka I'm not a big fan of, because I don't like the fact there's only one D6 roll. If there were 2 D6 rolls, I think the Bubble Chukka would be a really good, a really cool weapon. If there were 2 rolls, because it allows for both combinations, right? You're not only strength 1 AP 1, strength 2 AP 2. If you were strength 1 AP 6, it sucks, right? Who cares? But if you're strength 1 anyway, it's going to be weak. But if you're strength 6 AP 1, that's amazing. Strength 5 AP 2 would be amazing. Strength 4 AP 3 would even be great. You know, it would kill Space Marines. So if the Bubble Chukka had 2 dice rolls, I'd like it better. But as for the cannons, as I said in my review of the Orc Codex, I think the mech guns, I think they're going to be pretty good. depending on which groups you take squads of 3 of them, or larger squads are great. I think they'll be really good. Zap guns. I really like zap guns. Mm-hmm. And David Tigler also said, Jay, when you get to assembling your Stormclaw Killicans, will you be magnetizing them? If so, would you put together an assembly video showing your magnetized video? Exactly, David Battaglia. For you, I am. It's going to be a free video, and it's going to be up next week on how to magnetize my Killicans. Hey, Jay, it's Joseph from Peterborough again. Hey, Joseph from Peterborough. We are Little Cupcakes. Not sure if I'm using the same account. I think you're using a different account. Anyways, I got the Stormclaw set as a starter set because I want to start orcs. Perfect, as I said. If you wanted to start orcs, Assault on Black Reach would have been perfect. But the new set is really cool because you need a war boss. Great choice. I love cans. Gretchen, I think, are going to be really useful in the new codex. And you get knobs. Can't go wrong. You need boys. I think the next step is to add boys to the... If you took the Stormclaw set and added some packs of boys, you'd be in a great shape. Because you already got an HQ, elites, boys for troops, Killicans for heavy. I have no paints. And do you think the Stormclaw paint set would be a good place to start? No. Depends. Let me just check out the Stormclaw paint set. The problem is with the Stormclaw paint set is, if I remember correctly, it includes, I guess if you want to paint up both sides. But I thought it included both Stormclaw paint set. Sorry, I'm just trying to look up this before I make it claw. I don't see a paint set for it. It's gone. Bane's modeling. Maybe it'll be there. Stormclaw paint set. Sector Imperialis paint set. I don't see... I remember seeing it. But if it includes... the reason why I probably say no is because it is good, but it's for Goths. So... I remember it for Goths. I don't remember if it included... I don't remember if it included the Space Wolves. But if you want to play both sides of the coin, it might save you money, but I don't remember it being too much of a saver. That's what I was thinking. And it's only for Goths. So if you really want to paint Goth boys, if you want to match the color scheme for the box set, then it actually might be a good value too. But if you want to create an army that's not Goths, Goths being a faction of orcs, if you want to do Bad Moons, Evil Sons, my favorite army are the Death Skulls or Snake Bites. I looked at the color schemes and the paints wouldn't be really amazing for you. So it's up to you. But thank you very much for your question. And on top of that, it didn't seem like it was saving a lot of money. It seemed like it was pretty close to the amount. Which Games Workshop does that a lot lately. That you just multiply it does save you the time of choosing the paints. But it doesn't seem to save you a whole lot of money, and it's for a very specific color scheme. So I hope that answers your question. Also, we should definitely meet each other sometime, Joseph and Peterborough, because I'm in Peterborough as well. Black Tom says, Jay, with the whole concept of multiple force orgs in one list allowing people to field more than 2 HQs, do you think armies like orcs with a cheap 70-point level 2 Psyker could be competitive with Grey Knights and Demons? Could be. Could be. Not as... I would say Grey Knights and Demons are going to still be top. But could be. Cheap level 2 Psyker. You bring 6 of them. If you bring 6 of them, you'll be in good shape. Or 5 of them. 6 of them. Bring 6. Yeah. A bunch of them. Just as many... Fill your chart with weird boys, and you'd have fun. And that'd be pretty competitive because you have plus 12 to the dice roll, so you'd pretty much be able to negate anything your opponent throws at you. Yeah, it could work. The problem is with Grey Knights is just they can also do the same thing, and they're all psychers. How would you suggest even building a list around that concept? Alright, if you're trying to spam something with multiple force orgs, the first key is you gotta bring cheap troops. And if you're doing orcs, Gretchen. Gretchen or 10 boy squads with no upgrades. No knob, no power claw, 10 min... Squads of 10 boys. Min squads is how you spam... If you're trying to spam HQs or trying to go multiple force orgs, you got to save points on the basic requirements, and that's troops. So first step, cheap troops, Gretchen, cheap boys, and then you fill as much as you can with what you want. Except for that, you could go with, as you mentioned, a cheap. Luckily, weird boys are a cheap HQ, so spamming them, six of them is only 420 points. So you have 420 points of that, 6 min squads of Gretchen, you're still in great shape. And you could fill the rest of your army with whatever elites or heavies you want. And finally, Mr. Brightside says, hey Jay, having seen Stormclaw, do you reckon we might see a similar Blood Angels versus Dark Eldar set once their new codices arrive? Hence a new approach from Games Workshop. I would, actually. I discussed this with a friend the other day, and I think that they could happen. Now that I realize that Stormclaw was a limited edition release and not a full-blown permanent release, I do see that happening. Because I think Games Workshop acknowledges the fact that Dark Vengeance isn't the best starter set. It's amazing if you play Dark Angels, and it's okay if you play Chaos. But they used to have, like, they replaced Assault on Black Reach with Dark Vengeance. And Assault on Black Reach, as I said, Orcs, very popular army with amazing models, and you got a lot for what you paid for. Space Marines, the most popular army, you got a good amount of models, and you got what you paid for. Great, great starter set. Now, Dark Vengeance, the Chaos side, you get a lot of cultists. Dark Angels, you get a great army. So, but not a lot of people play Dark Angels. It's not a very well played, it's not a very popular faction compared to the other Space Marine factions. So I definitely could see them doing these pair up 2 armies that have been relatively close proximity of Codex release, sell a bunch of them, and then people will also buy it just for the mini rulebook. So I could definitely see that in the near future. A Blood Angel Dark Eldar combination would be really good. I love it when they pair Xenos versus Space Marine. It's just, it's always the best combinations. Because you get both sides of the coin, friends love to buy them together, get sales. Also, my GW paintbrushes keep fraying all the time and losing their pointiness. Any tips to reduce or recover this from this? Yeah, it is called Master's Brush Cleaner. It comes in little pockets like this. And this is a brush cleaner and preserver. And using this product, I have actually saved a lot of my brushes and re-pointed them, as you would say. It's great. It's cheap. You can find it at most hobby stores. And it's a Master's Brush Cleaner. I highly recommend it. And as far as ruining the tip, use a palette. I do find a lot of people end up ruining the tips and their brushes by jamming them too hard into the paint pots. So using a palette will typically save you from that problem. But if you have already done it, brush cleaner and preserver, Master Brush Cleaner, it's great for bringing back the tips of your brushes. So that's all my comments for the day. That was a lot of comments. It's been a good length video, and it is now time to call it a day for Q&J. So it's great stuff. So thank you so much for leaving your comments in the comment section down below. And feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and leave a comment about what you would like me to answer for next week's Q&J. Thank you so much for your comments and your questions and all your tips and correcting me. It all really is awesome of you guys. It means a lot to me. So thank you so much for watching this. Please leave your question for next week, as I just mentioned, down in the comment section down below. Stay tuned for next week's Q&J. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting, everyone.